Hello, everyone, and welcome to our third edition of Zoom Room with our past alums, in particular, student athlete alums. Today, I'm very excited and very honored to have Ruairi Palmer here with us, a Somerville High School graduate, attended Somerville High School from 2009 to 2013. So, Ruairi, very happy and very excited. Thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, no problem. It's great to be here.
So I'm going to start off with just a simple, probably very obvious question is, I'd love to hear from you regarding your experience as a student here at Somerville High School, but particularly as a student athlete and how that was for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I attended Somerville High back in 2013, I was captain of both the boys ultimate frisbee and varsity basketball teams. So my Somerville athletic career started even before high school, attending Saturday morning SYL basketball clinics and participating in the Somerville tradition travel teams. And so when I think about those Somerville athletic experiences, I don't think about the wins or losses from past seasons. I think about the life skills and qualities that my teammates, my coaches, and peers overall just taught me, which made me the man I am today. So some of those skills translated over into my personal life, my home life, my academics, and now even my professional life. So, those skills are like leadership, being a leader, teamwork, being a part of a team, and overall resiliency too. I think the ability to brush off some of the losses and move forward with the goals you set out for yourself or that the team created together are very important. So it's this ability to take feedback or criticism and just ultimately become better. So, when I think about my time at Somerville High, I think about those very same life skills that I learned as an athlete. They helped me receive a scholarship to college, and like I said, are pretty applicable today in my professional life. So, leadership skills, working on a team, and this ability to take feedback to become a better person or student or worker or whatever it is. And I think, you grow up and you hear, playing sports or doing whatever will help you become a better leader or whatever. And I always found it hard to kind of translate those over in the moment when I was younger. But it's funny because, in my professional life today, I think about those same skills, and those are the same skills that I look for in candidates for the company that I work for today. And, I look for their ability to lead, be a part of a team. And it's just funny to kind of see it all come circle. And I think those skills started to develop when I was an athlete at Somerville High.
I truly believe that. I think most athletes probably say the same thing, and the kind of the foundation that you get going into your life from high school. So just to piggyback on that, Ruairi, tell me about. My guess is you have probably multiple moments during your athletic career at Somerville High School, that will probably be very impactful. But is there one or two moments that you feel like really kind of made a real impression on you when you were here at the high school?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, no experience compares to playing a home basketball game, especially one against Cambridge in the Bruin Fieldhouse. I mean, you go to school that morning a little excited, a little nervous, but, very focused. And I think that's something that's pretty hard to forget. That rivalry between Somerville and Cambridge runs pretty deep and goes way back. It's honestly pretty historic, I would say. So getting the chance to play against them in a packed house in front of all your friends and family is truly unforgettable. I mean, everyone was ready and excited for games like that. The faculty, the students, the coaches, the players, everyone from 1 through 15. And so you'll never forget throwing on a jersey with Somerville on the front of it and winning a game at home. It's funny because my Coach Antonelli, that was something that he kind of always preached. He was like, my jersey never said Ruairi or Palmer on the back of it. It always said Somerville on the front. And, that's what you play for. So those types of moments or experiences are ones that you can't forget today.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing today professionally.
In my professional life, yeah, I work for a consulting firm called Forrester Research. So helping large companies just overall implement better strategies to become better businesses and attract new customers, retain new customers, and just ultimately serve them better.
Awesome, awesome. You touched on this a little bit, but I would love to know how, when you attended college, two things. Did you play sports in college? And even regardless if you did or you didn't, how did being a student athlete kind of prepare you for that next level in your life?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I went to Bucknell University, so it was a Division I school. And while I was good, I was never Division I good. But I actually did. I was a practice player for the women's basketball team, so the women's Division I team, and that was a lot of fun. I mean, getting the chance to play, practice and play with Division I caliber players was just awesome. So while I didn't play sports, I was still pretty involved in the athletic department at Bucknell University. And so regardless of that, I think about those skills that I mentioned earlier, teamwork, leadership, resiliency. Those are the types of things that I learned being a student athlete, and ultimately set me up for success quite well. Like I said, in my academic life and my personal life, and honestly, were big contributing factors to me going to college. I received a pretty nice scholarship. It was called the Posse Scholarship, which was a full tuition merit leadership scholarship that funded my 4 years at college. And I'd be remiss if I didn't credit a lot of those leadership attributes that I developed from being an athlete at Somerville High, specifically both on the basketball and ultimate frisbee teams. You learn a lot from your coaches, you learn a lot from your teammates, and those types of life skills are invaluable and truly set me up for success. So I have to credit my time as an athlete at Somerville High to all of that.
So it looks like you're still in tip-top shape. It looks like you carry yourself. So are you, and I understand COVID has put a damper on a lot of things that we do from an extracurricular standpoint, but are you still playing sports? Are you still doing things to stay athletic?
Yeah, I try to. It's funny, BC before Corona, I was playing in, at least 3 men's league for basketball at a time. And a lot of those were actually still with some of my high school basketball teammates from my senior year. At least 3 of my men's league teammates were ones from the Highlander days. So, those types of bonds and friendships run deep. But aside from men's league, today it's really just limited to taking some runs. I currently live in Cambridge, so I like to run into Boston and along the Charles. So running has been a big thing for me right now during this time.
That's great. And you touched on it a little bit, but I'm just curious if you can expand on it. Do you still stay connected to your high school, whether it be your high school friends or your high school teammates in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, where I play a men's league, we play once a week at least, with at least 3 or 4 of those guys. I'm actually, funny enough, moving into a new apartment come February, and one of my roommates is actually from my high school basketball team. So I'm excited for that. So if playing on a basketball team with them wasn't enough, now I'm living with one of them. So I definitely stay connected with a lot of those guys, even guys above me and younger than me too. It's not even just limited to my class year, which I think is pretty cool, right? Like if you're from Somerville, you got that connection with everyone, whether it's people who graduated above you or younger than you. So yeah, I'm definitely keeping up and keeping in touch with a lot of those guys.
That's great. That's great. It's funny because I've only been here a short time as the athletic director, but in the year that I experienced working with Coach Antonelli, I was always amazed, not just how great a coach he is, but I was always amazed at how many past alums would come to games, and the connection they have with Coach Antonelli. It goes very strong, very deep.
Yeah, no, you're right. And it's a family. It's not something that just comes naturally, right? It's really curated that way, to create a culture and environment that's very familial. I think is pretty special and something that's important. We see it in a lot a lot of sports teams at Somerville High and just sports in general. But, I think about that basketball team and basketball program, and it's truly a family. You got guys that I played with, younger than me, older than me, coaching in the tradition program too. So we like to keep it close, and we like to, a lot of the kids who grow up in Somerville have, unique needs or problems or whatever that's specific to the city that we grow up in. So keeping it, in the family makes it a lot more relatable as a player and person. So yeah, and it's fun. It's fun to kind of keep it close that way. It's a very particular culture and environment. So I love it.
No question, it is, for sure. So much like yourself, every year we have a whole slew of seniors who graduate and kind of go on to the next chapter of their lives, whether it be college or a trade or whatever it is. Particularly our student athletes, I'd love to ask you, if you can offer some words of wisdom, from your experience and some of the things you did, what would you say to some of our seniors who are about to kind of go on to the next chapter of their lives?
Yeah, I know. I feel too young to be passing on words of wisdom. I'll try it out. While this piece of advice isn't, I guess, just limited to athletes at Somerville High, it can truly be offered to anyone from Somerville. But what I'd say is truly to embrace the diversity that the city offers. That's what Somerville represents. It's all about diversity. No matter what team you're a part of, a team that is diverse will ultimately be more well-rounded in all aspects of the word. So it's this idea of embracing diversity to, bring perspective, new skills or experiences to the table. And I think that's so important, and not a lot of people, outside of the city of Somerville can really understand. So, when I think about Somerville, and the advice that I would offer students and athletes at the high school today, if you can recognize and continue to embrace this aspect of diversity, it will bring you far in whatever you decide to do. So recognizing and understanding that diversity, I think, is pretty important, and ultimately is I think a key attribute of what it means to be from Somerville. Is this ability to appreciate and understand and embrace diverse perspectives. So that would be my advice. I feel like you take it for granted in the moment while you're there.
I agree. Well said. Thank you so much. Rory, I again, as I said in the beginning, I'm ecstatic you joined us today. Really honored. Thank you so much for spending a little time. Once we're hopefully on the other side of COVID, we would love to have you come back to our new school, our new facility, and so we can honor you the appropriate way. Really appreciate you being here today.
Yeah, absolutely, Stanley. It was great to catch up.
Welcome, everyone, and welcome to another session of our Zoom room with our past Somerville High School alums, specifically our student athlete alums. I am I'm super excited and very honored to have Felix DeBona here. Felix was a member of Somerville High School and a big member of our boys soccer team, and attended Somerville High from 2009 through 2013. Felix, thank you so much for spending a little time and joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Stan. It's always great to speak to the Somerville community, especially the student athletes. I love, me, and I like to be around the soccer team, the students, and helping in any way that I can. So it's always good to share some stories, give back and say how thankful I am for my time at Somerville.
That's great. Again, thank you so much. So I'm going to start off with the usual question I ask everybody when I first start talking to them is I'd like to hear from you, Felix, kind of about your experience as a student at Somerville High School, but specifically as a student athlete and how that kind of molded and shaped your life.
Well, so, since I stepped foot in at Somerville, I was so fortunate of the people around me, whether it was my teammates, coaches, just the supporting staff. I thought that everybody welcomed me with open arms. Everybody was always there to help and to encourage me and guide me towards the path to success. Obviously, everybody has their own path and unique way to get there. But that's one thing I always saw. I always knew there was someone that I could talk to. There was always someone that could help me, from past athletic directors, past teachers, past athletic trainers, coaches. So I always really enjoyed, the people of Somerville, the community that we had between student athletes, not just with the soccer team, but other teams as well, just coming together as one. The school spirit was great. Till this day, when we see each other, Highlanders go a long way. So, there's always that connection, even up to this moment. So
that's great. That's great. My next question, I can only imagine how many great memories you had, especially on the soccer fields at Somerville High School. But is there one, Felix, one particular either moment or one particular game that kind of stands out to you as like a really big moment during your time at Somerville?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of games, that we had to come from behind, or a lot of games that we were favorites, we struggled, and a lot of games that we just dominated the whole time. So, but there was, there's been a few. I would say probably the biggest one was my senior year, Division I North Finals. We played against St. John's Prep in Lynn at Manning Field.
Yeah.
And I think it was just such an intense game. And I'm sure how great St. John's Prep is, every year, and we just kind of had a nail biter, and I think we won 1-0 with that goal I scored right at towards the end, and then I think that was just a great feeling, and just taking us to, we ended up losing in the state semifinals, but that Division I North trophy and that taking it back to Somerville was such a great moment.
It's amazing, Felix. I've only been in Somerville for just about a year and a half, and I think I've heard about that game at least 30 times. It's such fond memories for people who were part of that, part of that experience. It's amazing. It really is.
Yeah, that was great. I think the team in general. So I think a lot of people, such a brotherhood that we had together with all the teammates, and we were all in there. It was, I scored the goal, but it was such a team effort. It just stands out that way.
No question. So you leave, and I've heard a little bit about your story, but I know people would love to hear. You leave Somerville High School, and you went on quite a journey. It really did. I'd love to hear from you. Once you left Somerville, your college experience, playing pro. Tell us about that experience and kind of how it unfolded.
Yeah, I mean, Somerville was a great, stepping stone to that next step, which was college soccer. And, I was lucky to stay around too, close by, which I, went on to complete 4 years at Boston University. So not too far. I was able to come back to see a lot of the high school games, which was nice. But it was a great, I stayed local. I was able to get that prepare. Somerville did prepare me for the next step as well with a level of training. And I was able to be very successful at BU as well. Playing under Neil Roberts. Neil actually just retired not too long ago, and he was there for many years. So it was great to like I said, still be around as much as possible. And after the 4 years I had at BU, I ended up playing 2 years professionally in Finland. So that was a great time as well. It was an amazing experience. Just, I worked so hard my whole life, through high school, through college. Luckily I was able to graduate to high school and college as well. So I pursued my professional career after I was, had my degree in hand, which was amazing. And then I had the opportunity to play soccer for a living. I was getting paid to, wake up, sleep, breathe, and play soccer. And that was just a great feeling. And I wish I could have, played for many more years, but, sometimes we have to put our big boy pants on and make some hard decisions. And, but I'm happy for my experience, that I've had, starting with Somerville. So that's where, when I look back at, where you started. So it goes all the way back there.
It's amazing. It's an amazing story. Tell me about the fact that you're, some years removed now from high school. Are you still connected to your high school teammates, to your high school friends? Do you still keep in touch?
Yeah. There's a few that I still talk to a lot. I still talk to George Scarfelli, of course, which was my coach back then. Tiago Moreira, which was assistant coach. Tony, now the girls coach. He was a big part that helped me out as well. And then I still have teammates, Augusto de Oliveira, Mateus Reis. We still hang out, time to time. So we're always connecting. Me and Mateus both work for the same company now. We both work for Bank of America. So, even outside of work, we're able to connect, in work as well. So we're always keeping track. We do have like an alumni WhatsApp group as well. So we're always keeping in touch, talking about soccer, networking, connecting. Sometimes people post something about, hey, my company's trying to hire, or hey, what do you guys think about this game that just happened today? So it's just nice. We always try to stay connected and talk about positive things like how can we soccer, how can we give back, planning some alumni games or getting together. So there's still a very good unity between the alums.
It's great to hear. It really is. You mentioned just briefly where you work, but I'd love to know professionally what you do for your company.
Yeah, so I work at the Harvard Square branch, Bank of America. I am a relationship manager and lending specialist. So now I just work more with, seeing clients, helping clients with their financial life and seeing if anything that I can help with. And the lending part comes a lot with people trying to buy houses, cars, and that stuff. So in school, I majored in international relations, a little bit with business as well. So it's a great path to go into. I think I connect, as well with the diversity we have around Boston and myself being a diverse individual myself. I think it's a great thing. I get to meet a lot of people, sit down with a lot of different people. So it's a really unique opportunity, and I'm making the most out of it.
Good for you. Good for you. I tell people all the time, I know both of us are kind of biased because we played sports and we grew up in sports, right? But I always tell people that no matter what you do in your professional life, I feel like by being a student athlete at some point, those skills that you learn, you bring into your life, no matter what you do. Yeah. You agree?
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. So, Tiago Moreira, which was the assistant coach, he used to say that to me all the time. He said, like, every student athlete, if they pursue their careers, if they pursue their sport or if they want to pursue it professionally, if they do go into the professional life, everybody remembers how you were part of a team, right? So you learn how to be a part of a team. You learn how to win. You learn how to deal with, sometimes losses. So those things, everything helps you in your professional life later on. So now, and there's a lot of people that when they're hiring, they actually look at individuals that were part of teams that asked former student athletes. When I was being hired by Bank of America as well, the person I interviewed with actually mentioned that to me in my interview, that I was a student athlete, that I was, that I always, student athletes are determined to win, right? You're always trying to achieve more. You're trying to go above and beyond for your teammates and for yourself as well. So it's a great, and I didn't believe that though at first. I was like, what are these guys talking about? Because I didn't know, I didn't go through it. And as soon as I went through it, and now I'm in the work field, right? I'm in my professional life as well right now. I see everything that I did starting back when I was young and, high school, college, everything prepares you for, going forward.
There's no question. Listen, I say this with all pride. My first 3 jobs, I think I got the interviews. All 3 managers told me they brought me in because I played a sport, because I was a college athlete. It's amazing. So that's a real thing. It truly is. You, as I'm looking at you, and I've seen you before, Felix, you always seem like you're in tip-top shape. Like you could still play soccer at any level. So tell us, are you still playing soccer? Are you still playing any sports? How are you keeping in shape? What are you doing, particularly during COVID?
Yeah, I mean, right now COVID is tough, right? But I always try to still play like pickup soccer. Try to join a few different leagues where it's a little more competitive. I always enjoy, I was playing on before COVID happened. I was playing Monday nights with this group of people, former college players, some kids that played professionally as well. So it was really great great level of play. So I try to do that as much as I can. I don't really like. I'm not the guy to go to the gym and run on the treadmill, do anything stuff. I rather play soccer 5 days a week if it is to stay in shape. So I try to do that once or twice a week, and just try, even rather take my dog out for a walk, whatever it is, just pretty basic.
Great. Listen, COVID has changed some things, right? So things like leagues
Right.
are just not available. So I totally get it. But I'm like you. It's hard to go to the gym and sit on a treadmill and run for 3, 4, 5 miles. It's difficult. It really is, truly. Yeah. My last question to you, Felix, would be, we every year, as you know, we have a whole crop of senior student athletes who are graduating and moving on to the next chapter of their lives, whether it be going to college or doing a trade or whatever it is. If it wasn't COVID and I had you here in our auditorium and you were about to speak to 300 student athletes, I would love to know what advice, if any, you would offer them.
It's a tough one, right? So I'm speaking to 300 kids. I mean, it's just I would say, talent beats hard. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. That's something I live by, right? So I always tell people, to just work hard, right? So because you're achieving so many people want the same thing as you. So you want to put in the work, right? You want to put the work in silence. You don't have to go to the gym, or you have to go outside and go on Instagram to show people that you're, playing or doing those things. But it's just being humble, right? Stay true to who you are. A lot of coaches like who you are, not who you're trying to be, especially going forward. A lot of people as well, you want to make sure that you're keeping up with your grades, right? A lot of people forget that they're students first, athletes second. So a lot of times you want to make sure that they're seniors right now, right? But you want to make sure that they started that when they were freshmen. But it's just staying true to yourself, making sure you keep working hard, right? Because it doesn't get easy. The next step gets harder, right? So you want to make sure when you get into college, if you're going to play, if you're going to do anything else, whatever the situation is, you just want to be prepared and be willing to grind and give it your all.
It's the truth. It really is. Yeah. Felix, I can't thank you enough for spending a little time with us. We not only appreciate your time, but we appreciate all the accomplishments you had at Somerville High School and the impact you've made. Thank you for spending a little time and sharing with us today. I would like to personally invite you once we're on the other side of COVID. We have so many exciting things happening with the new school, new fields. We'd like to bring you back, honor you the right way when the time is right. So hopefully you'll come back and spend some time with us.
Yeah, of course. I'm always, I'm always happy to come back and, share my story or help any student athletes in any way that I can.
Felix, stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you again for spending a little time today.
Thank you. Stay safe.